we're not competing with you for the league. We're competing with Liverpool. You're in the top 4 debate. You're closest to Spurs and City this season. You're closest to Spurs and City.
You see, you're getting too cocky now. You're getting too carried away. I used to see every City fan say, I don't care about the Champions League. Every City fan, boo!
It's true.
Boo. Now, we won the treble. Winning the league without losing is a better achievement than the 100 points. The pleasure it gives me as an Arsenal fan to know that despite all the money you've spent, I know it burns. Shut up every Arsenal fan. Wait a minute.
That shuts everyone up.
Shut up every Arsenal fan by doing it.
Henry or Aguero?
Come on. Your missus is watching the Premier League because of Thierry Henry.
No,
Looking forward to that day you hear.
You can't.
We've come to repossess those trophies.
It's a Sunday the police, yo.
Right?
Can you imagine if they won the treble and we were saying
I'd be humble.
Oh my God.
Oh my days. You keep talking about the gold trophy. We're talking about the achievement.
Have you got one in your house?
Wait, forget.
Have you got a little toy one in your house?
Go get a Kinder Egg from Tesco.
Listen.
Get one in it. You end up with t-shirts like that, treble. Yeah? Treble.
Give me those.
Calm down, Win. Calm down.
We've got a harpoon for these sharks when they come here this week. It's about time we turn them over, and we're going to do it this week Sunday.
Yes, people, we're back. It's super fan debate. It's Arsenal versus Manchester City this Sunday at the Emirates. It's the big one right before an international break, and we're bringing you a super fan debate. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you show the video some love. And we're going to pretty much get straight into it. Let me introduce the panel first, starting with the home team. To my right, we have Gooner Lee in the building, and we have the Don Robbie himself representing Arsenal. And to my left, representing Manchester City, we have Big Steve, and we have Buvey in the building too. So it's a star-studded panel.
Do you know what? I just wanted to say, like, there is one fan in here, and Don Robbie's got some CGI for another Man City fan. So well done. Well done, man. Listen, like, they do say that they normally come in threes, but there's normally only one here, really. So
no, the only thing that comes in threes is our trophies.
Fair enough.
You lined that one up.
Listen. You know what? Listen, man. It's been a long time coming. So yeah, but well done with the billion that they spent. So well done, innit? As well.
Listen, defending champions. I'm going to start on my left. You're the away team in this fixture. You've got a couple big players missing in Rodri with suspension and Kevin De Bruyne injury. Arsenal have big players missing too potentially. But Steve, let's start with you. This Sunday, how confident are you that Man City will get the job done again at the Emirates?
Yeah, you got to be confident. We're the champions. Been here before. You know, last season it was all the talk about, you know, the disrespect I thought from Arsenal about as if Manchester City were nothing. In the early days, you went clear. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Man City's finished. Mentality's gone. Kevin De Bruyne don't want to know. But listen, when it mattered, we turned up. And that's what we do. You know what I mean? On and off the pitch on Sunday, the fans will be there getting behind the team. Doesn't matter about Kevin De Bruyne, don't matter about Rodri. We're the champions, so we can't hide. We've got to go there and do exactly what we did last season and win the game. And we will. Did
we not take City seriously, Lee?
I feel like when you give context, though, I feel like Cancelo had just gone. He had the issue with Pep. This couple of games before, because obviously the World Cup just come back, you drew to Everton as well in December, just a couple of games before that. So I feel like when you give the context, Arsenal fans, we were top of the league. We had got 50 points after 19 games. And we had Partey that we didn't know was going to not be in the game. So I think with all of that, you know, added into the mixture, you know, I don't think there was disrespect, but we were confident, rightly so. And then obviously we got humbled, but no, I don't feel like it was a disrespect at all. Man City, we all know they're a great team, and Arsenal were hopefully coming to do some really good stuff, and that was the second big test after the Brentford draw that we had the game before. So all in all, I don't think there was disrespect, but you know, I feel like if Man City's take it like that, then it is what it is.
Rob, great team, defending champions, but is it our time now?
We'll see. I mean, listen, it's going to be a tough game because, you know, we've got a couple of injuries now that, you know, if Saka's out, you know, that's going to be a huge blow because, you know, huge player for us. But they've got players missing as well. They haven't quite looked the same. I mean, with Rodri missing, you know, he's such a key player for them, you know, and I feel that, you know, that's an area that we can try and exploit. I really hope that the manager gets a team selection right For me, that midfield, I would go Partey and Rice, right, and Odegaard, and try and own the midfield. And I think if we do that, I think we've got a chance, because without Rodri, there's a drop-off. There's not many areas of their team that if a player's missing, there's a big drop-off. They've got players that can cover it off. I feel that that's one area that there is a drop-off. And the last, let's take away the Champions League game, which they won, but Rodri's playing in that game. But last week against Wolves, it didn't quite seem the same. They also got beaten by Newcastle. I know that was Carabao Cup. So that, they can be beaten. It's about time we beat them, man. We have to admit they've turned up and they've turned us over at the Emirates and away from home as well. And they deserve they deserve to win the title last season because they beat us home and away. But
and in the FA Cup as well.
And in the FA Cup as well. You played at home in the FA Cup as a 1-0 game. I don't know, man. I think if we go into that game confident and, as I said, try and dominate that midfield, they've got a player missing this time, a couple of vital players missing. Most of the games we've gone into over the past couple of seasons, we've had the big players missing. I remember Partey was like our best player for long periods of last season. And then when we went to play them at home, Partey's out.
Yeah.
This time we go, hopefully Declan Rice and players like that won't be out, but it's still that maybe Saka might be out. But they've got a couple of big players missing, so let's try and exploit that.
But you know what, just to add on to your point, in truth, do you know what? I would prefer them to be there, only to see where Arsenal are. And I don't really want to do this whole, they've got players out, so that's why we've beaten them. Because then what will happen?
I don't think it will come down to that. Because,
that would be the storyline. That would be the storyline.
Every big side always has injuries.
Of course.
You're saying periods about Fabian Delph at left back. You always have to place big sides with injuries, whether you've got them or they've got them. And ultimately, this is the biggest opportunity Arteta's ever had to beat City in a serious game. I think he's bottled it a little bit. I think overplaying Saka when he saw that Rodri, had that red card a couple of weeks ago. Don't overplay him against Bournemouth. Don't overplay him against Lens. Keep him fit. He needs a big game against City. I don't think he's ever had a big game against City. So those opportunities, I think he slipped a little bit with that one in particular.
How Buvey, I want to stick with you on that, because how important is keeping players fit? Because there's been much debate amongst Arsenal fans about, should Saka have start your best team? It's the Champions League. No, protect him for the big one Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
But Man City and Pep know all about protecting players for the business end of the season. We've seen Gundogan step up. We've seen Mahrez step up at the business. And we've seen Foden step up at the business end. How important is it for a challenging, title winning side?
Well, if Arsenal want to win the Premier League, just the Premier League, and if they want to have a good run in the Champions League, FA Cup, that's a bonus. But if it's about winning the Premier League, then overplaying them against Lens, overplaying them when they're 3-0 up against Bournemouth to the 92nd minute he stayed on, that is not conducive to winning the Premier League. And we saw it with Pep Guardiola. There's a period last season, De Bruyne was fully fit. He barely started him for about an 8-week period, and he was coming in and out the side. That meant come April, May, he was fully fit.
But I was just about to say to you, did he overplay De Bruyne as well at the start of the season? He
starting against Burnley was weird for
obviously
me.
carrying an injury, so didn't he do the same thing?
I can't believe he started against Burnley.
But you're just
crazy.
there, you're putting that all on Arteta, right?
Yeah.
With De Bruyne, didn't he not do the same thing? And De Bruyne was obviously carrying an injury, and he didn't have to start him, did he? And he started him. Now he's been out. How many months is he out for?
Pep's record in the Premier League is exemplary for knowing his squad, knowing when De Bruyne. In his opinion, he thought De Bruyne was fully fit. Arteta's got everything to prove to the Premier League in terms of winning the league, and his big asset going forward. Because I think Jesus hasn't had the best start. I don't back Eddie Nketiah at all. So there's one world class player I think going forward for you lot is of course Saka, and he overplays his hand with that. I think it's criminal.
Yeah, not just the one world-class player going.
Martinelli's not world-class.
You're thinking about,
I like him. He's not world-class. Jesus isn't world-class.
Martinelli can be good. Well, you're forgetting about Declan Rice as well.
I'm saying forward. I'm saying in front three.
I thought you meant going.
No.
I thought when you said going
forward,
I thought you meant like
I
going
meant front
forward
three,
in the
front
future.
three.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to make the point, right, that, it can happen. You know what I mean? Because even somebody as great as Guardiola can do that. I think
it's true, yeah.
He sort of pushed De Bruyne too hard, and now he's been out for a very long time. So
I think it is naive from Arteta what he's done. I think he's trying to push him to a point and say, look, you've got these injuries or you've got these little niggles. Try and persevere, play through them, because you want to be a top player. You've got to play games in and out. You've got to go through that. But it just doesn't make sense because you've given contracts to other players and you're not trusting them. But listen, we don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of having some of the players that you've got to come in. You've got Alvarez on the bench. You can play right, left, in the 10 at front, and he's your second striker currently. So I think that's where the difference is in terms of the squad. But I think we still should be going there, going into the game with a lot of confidence. Not saying that we're going to win, but we should be going in there because, look, Buvey's right. This is one of the best chances that we're going to have to beat them. And there's a lot of discourse about Man City, a one-man team right now, with this whole Rodri chat right now. But we're going to see.
We're not a one-man team, no.
There's one thing for certain, in my opinion, the winner of this doesn't determine the title. This is more, if you beat us on Sunday, this is more for you than us. We'll take it on the chin. We'll move. We've been in title races with Liverpool. We got beat off Liverpool at Anfield. We've our business end of the season. We said it last season. That's why I came on last season and said there's a lot of people getting excited too early. You can go and beat all the top 6. It's not necessarily them games. You look at them games last season. The West Ham 2-0 up. Yeah, Liverpool 2-0 up. Brighton, Southampton. They were the games which everyone on paper thought they're bread and butter games. They're the ones that would have won the title. And that's with City. We won't panic. If we go there on Sunday and we don't get a result, we won't panic. All I ever say is Manchester City just have to be there or thereabouts come that last 10 games. If we're on the coattails of whoever's at the top, that's when we turn it on. And I don't believe there's anyone in the league that can catch us at that business end of the season. That's why now we can afford a few little blips. We've had a better start now this season than we ever had before. So most City fans would have expected by now to maybe lost 1 or 2 games. Yeah. The Wolves game was disappointing, but it is what it is. And like you say, there's a mentality issue in the squads and the fan base, and people laughed at that. But I'm telling the truth, we had it at first before we won that first league with Mancini. He just couldn't quite get over the line with it. Now, say Pep Guardiola makes a decision. Now nobody bats an eyelid. If Pep Guardiola says he's playing Haaland at right wing on Sunday, we don't care. If we get beat, we're not going to go and rip him apart. That's because we've got to that level now where we trust the manager and we know what's coming. I think Arsenal, there's one set of the fan base that they're all fully behind Arteta, but there's still a little section that if he makes a mistake or it don't quite go the way, they're looking at someone to blame. And I think Sunday, you need to win this game more than us. I think if you beat us, this could. Do you know what? If you beat us, it could get back to last season again. Yeah. Excitement level ramps up. All of a sudden, we beat Man City. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. While Man City just slip into the background, and we just go again.
I do believe that, if it's very important for us to beat you, right? I do believe that, right? Because for a lot of the things you just said, I do hope that we've learnt a lot from last year. Because I do remember when you were sort of telling me that we're getting a bit too excited. And at that time, I didn't really understand where you was fully coming from with that. But at the end of the season, I was kind of like, now I kind of get where you was coming from. There are periods where, well, like you said there, we have to trust decisions. We have to trust. I mean, there's been some of our fans have been upset with how we started the season, but we're unbeaten in the league. You know what I mean? And we're a point off City. And we do just need to just look at the longevity of the season and say, do you know what? If anything, we'd be better off starting it off a bit indifferent and then grow into it later on. Because actually, when we were winning titles under Arsene Wenger, sometimes we did start off seasons a bit like that, where we were very indifferent at the start, but then after a while, we just sort of grow until in the end now, we're right powerhouse by the end of the season, which is what didn't happen last year. So I'm hoping we do that, but you are right. We're at home. We're at home. We just try and get one over you. I do think that the league as well is going to be a bit different. I think Liverpool are in it this year.
Yeah, 100%.
I definitely think they're going to be in it. You know what I mean? And I think there are teams that might take points off of, even a team like Tottenham who've improved a lot might take points off of, teams that are going for the title. So I don't think it's going to be just a 2-horse race this year. I think it's going to be quite a few teams involved.
Yeah.
And that's why for us, I feel it's important that we win this game this weekend.
It's so important. You have to learn how to beat City in terms of being the Premier League champions. City had to beat Conte's Chelsea. De Bruyne scored an unbelievable goal, Stamford Bridge. That was on the Centurion season. We had to learn how to beat Alex Ferguson's Man United 6-1 and all that. You have to learn how to beat these sides at the top of the table. It's not just about 3 points. It's not about, we talk about squads and transfers and all these different things. Ultimately, Arsenal, the 11 that play against City, have to learn how to beat City in this current generation for Arsenal. And none of them know how to beat City.
Is that the decisive factor as to why, like Steve said, and many City fans say, it's just another game for City? What do Arsenal have to do in order for City fans to look at Arsenal as the next rival?
We're not disrespecting him. Even if we played Liverpool, the mentality we're in now as a fan base and as a team, it is just another game. If you get lost in that moment and you're over obsessing with beating, because okay, we could win at Anfield, but then we could go and get beat at Brighton. That's not the way to look at it. It's about the overall season. It's like it's a marathon. And as you've seen, you can start as well as anyone, like you did last year, and everyone was waxing lyrical about Arsenal this, Arsenal that, and rightly so, because nobody expected Arsenal to be there. And there was a point in the season where I sat back, coming home from Forest away, I was on my own in the car, 1-1, and I thought, Haaland's not getting the touch of the ball, we look very disjointed, and I thought, this Arsenal team's going to run away. You just beat Villa in the last minute goal, I watched it, and I thought, that's a sign. That's what wins your titles, them mad moments. And I thought, do you know what? We need to pull it together. And then it all came out about the charges and Pep and this, that and the other. And then all of a sudden, when he did that press conference and he changed the system, we were flat back four, more or less all centre-backs. Cancelo went away to Bayern Munich. And then Pep went, no matter what you throw at this football club, we're together. And something happened in the fan base and the team at the same time, and it felt like I was on Sky Sports News and it felt like the whole world was against us, and I said we've just got to galvanise the fans and the team and realise now that it's us against them, let's go and win this league. And it was like an army had assembled, and I know it sounds weird, but I've watched City for a long time, and you just get this momentum and you know it's coming, and all of a sudden the wins were coming, and I thought we're snowballing it at the right time. And then I could see Arsenal, when we got to that game at the Emirates, I thought, right, and we went there and we won convincingly, and then I thought, yeah, they know now, because I came round to AFTV after it, and the opinion was like 70-30 that they'd blown the title, and that's when I knew in my head, I thought, we've got these on the ropes here. But there was a time, I'll admit now on camera, where I thought, if we let the City fans let these Arsenal fans get behind this team like it was, there could be a danger here where it goes too far and we can't claw it back. I know that sounds mad as fans where you say that, but AFTV, all the Arsenal channels and all that, when they're all together and everything's ticking along, you've got a bit of clout about you. Us as City fans, we ain't got a million content creators, there's only a few of us, so we just had to put the message out, keep calm, you know what I mean, do this. And in the end, we got there, but...
Of course,
we had to... Wait a minute. How them charges going, anyway? I forgot about that, man. I mean, why am with them charges? You know what I mean? I thought about football.
We're waiting for the court date. How
them charges going, man? Listen. There's still hope. The charges are still to come off.
I keep saying, man, I know
there'll be no trophies being handed back.
I know I was going to say, I know we didn't win it last season, but, you know, it's coming to us in the future, then don't worry. I'm sure there'll be some sort of loophole that will show that we deserved the title last season.
You know what, right? They were relentless, isn't it?
Yeah, they were.
They were. When I got to end the season, right, and I looked at it, I was like, these men literally didn't lose a game. They won every single game after the World Cup. That's mental.
The turning point for me was, I remember it was the last game that they kind of really could lose was the Liverpool game, and they went 1-0 down. And there was a moment where Grealish chased Mo Salah when he was free, and I thought, that's the moment we're going to win the league. And he just got there, and then you went on to win, and I was like, you know, league's done. League is done.
I've got a question I want to ask you two, though. Are you as good as last year?
We're worse at the moment, but that's the sacrifice now in the next 5 years, because Núñez is young, Doku's amazing, and he's 21 years old. So we've sacrificed the now, because you'd rather have Ilkay Gundogan playing in this game right now, but he's 33 years old or whatever it is. So we definitely sacrificed the short term for having a future where in 5 years' time we'll be competing for the league again.
If the charges don't drop.
Well, yeah, we'll bring out the law degree again. I don't know. But do you know what I mean? But you look at the Chelseas of the world, you look at Spurs and Man United, all these big clubs, short-term thinking, and City just won the treble, and there's 3 or 4 sort of transfers and decisions within the squad, even to let Cole Palmer go. Clearly there's a real cutthroat decision there. He's not quite good enough for what City want long-term. Let's get someone in like Núñez who really is. So I think the squad at the moment is short term slightly worse. I think if we play the Champions League final tomorrow, it'd be way worse than we were, in Turkey. But long term, it's so exciting at City.
You've got to realise that after you have a season where you win all them trophies, there's naturally going to be a drop off from certain players who are going to now think they've won it all. We lost Gundogan, we lost Laporte, we lost players, Mahrez. So we had to freshen up a treble-winning squad. We have done with young players, but like what Buvey was saying there, you look now, you've got Jack Grealish, £100 million player. He's been there 24 months. His position is now under threat from Jeremy Doku, a 21-year-old who's just signed for the Champions of Europe, who wants his shirt. So he's now on his toes. You look at the midfield, you look at Nunes coming in. He's young, he's hungry. You know what I mean? He wants a shirt. It's like Phil Foden now getting a chance to step it up. Kevin De Bruyne is injured. These people now, he's not going to get his shirt back straight away. Guardiola, he's come in. Pep's played him at left back, played him at centre back. He's 21 years old. So we freshened up a treble-winning squad, but we're always one step ahead. And at the end of the day, we take a step back as City fans. We know the club's in good hands. I spoke with Gail Clichy on an interview, and he said to me, Man City are 3 or 4 transfer windows ahead of everybody else all the time. And he said they've always identifying when players... We signed Rodri, and people were slating him first season, saying he's not that good because Fernandinho was the main man. Then all of a sudden you're seeing Fernandinho taking a little bit of a backseat role. Rodri became the main man. We phased Fernandinho out. So City know how to do it. We're not as good as last season because we haven't got the momentum or the rhythm yet. And that's the big part. What wins your leagues is rhythm. I say it all the time, rhythm. I've seen City go on a pitch 2 days after being in Atletico Madrid in a war and you think we're knackered. But the rhythm of playing that extra 3 days. You remember last year when they said Arsenal are out of all competitions, it will benefit them. It doesn't benefit you. Gail Clichy said that to me. He said, if you lose on the Saturday, you've got 1 week of training till the next Saturday to put it right. He went, you can overtrain, you can undertrain, you can overthink, you can underthink. He said, that following Saturday, if you lose again, which happened with Arsenal, with the 2 at West Ham, the draw, whatever it was, and then going to Liverpool and all that, he went, then you've got another week. He went, with City, if they have a stumble, 2 days later, they put it right. You go in, you do an assist, you score a goal, you're back up on top of the world. He went, it's a lonely place from that Saturday to that Saturday when you've got nothing else to think about but your rivals in between. And I fully believe that last season was benefited us. When people say, we've only got 1 game a week, I thought, no, it's the rhythm. You need the rhythm. The Invincible season, cliche, every 3 days we were playing, rhythm. And Man City ain't in a rhythm yet.
I wanted to ask you as well, just because you spoke about it, Foden and Saka, there's a lot of chat about who's the better player, who's the star boy, who should be playing for England, etc., etc. How good do you think he actually is? Because there's been moments even this season where De Bruyne has not been there, and you want him to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and he's
Wolves being a key.
Yeah, he's not been on the periphery, because I think there's too much of people saying he's not this good player. But I do think that some people don't know how good he is. So do you want to share a bit of light on how?
Wait, 1 second. That's in the other video.
Fair enough.
So let's not do that.
Yeah, no. Apologies.
Yeah?
But it's annoying because obviously Saka might not be there, so it's good. We can't chat about that. But
there you go. There's a little preview of the next
That's
video
it.
as well, people. We are doing the next one, but we haven't finished this one yet. We are going to wrap it up shortly. But before we wrap it up, we need predictions for Sunday. We need the predictions. Let's start with the Arsenal fans as the home team. I think it makes most sense. Robbie, go on. You got a smirk on your face. What are you going for?
Man. This is it, bro. It's got to be. When we got to beat these man. I mean, it's been too long. It's been too long. I mean, listen. Obviously, I think the Saka thing's a big blow for Arsenal. I mean, if he's out, he's such a big player for us. I mean, scores goals, assists, and just generally, even when he's not scoring, he's a problem to defences. But I don't know. I just feel like I think we can find a way this weekend. I mean? Declan Rice has been playing really, really well. He's been a great addition to this squad. I see you laughing.
Right?
You're laughing, but I don't know. I think this game could be, if we could get hold of that midfield, like I said. I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's going to go with Havertz or if he's going to go with Partey or what he does as those alternate players in the midfield. But I think if Arteta was to go with Partey, Declan Rice and Odegaard and try and control that midfield with Rodri missing, I think we could get some joy.
What's the front three, sorry, that you'd want?
Front three, so my team for this game, what I'd go with, obviously probably the goalkeeper, probably Raya in goal, a back four of obviously Saliba and Gabriel as my 2 centre backs. I'd have Ben White, and I'd probably put Tomiyasu in this game. I think we've got to respect the fact that, with their with your forward players at the moment, you know what I mean, I'll probably go with a more solid back four. But then in front of them, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey and Odegaard. And then up front, I'll probably put, now this is going to sound a bit, me and Lee was discussing this before. I'll probably put on the right-hand side, Jesus. On the left-hand side, Trossard. And down the middle, go with Havertz. And I thought that
Not Eddie Nketiah.
You just said you don't even rate him, so why are you going to play?
Because you lot do.
No, don't put you lot.
He's better than Havertz.
Don't put
I think for this, I'll just go back to like in the Community Shield. I thought Havertz done all right, holding the ball up and that. Maybe it's going to be more of a tight. It might be a tighter game.
City.
So, well, he was Man City in the Community Shield, wasn't it? It was the same game. It's not. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, I'm just saying that as an option, or Eddie down the middle. But I'd definitely have Jesus filling in that position on the right hand side. Yeah, it'll either be Eddie Nketiah or down the middle. Or he could go through Trossard down the middle, but he didn't look great the other night coming back from injury. But then the previous couple of games before that, he was good. He scored goals, he created assists. So, but I think Jesus to cover off that Saka position for me.
And what about a prediction?
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 home win. Lee?
Mate, I tell you what, I'll say it like this. If Havertz doesn't play, I think we win. I do think we win. And I just think by any means necessary. I'm not saying here that you're not going to be amazing, because you are. I'm not saying that it's going to be the most beautiful win for Arsenal, but I think we'll find a way. I think if Havertz does play, I think we're going to lose. And that doesn't mean I don't think he's a good player or he can't do something tangible in the game, but I just don't see him being effective enough for us in the game, for us to win the game. So I'm going to go squeaky bum 2-1 win if Havertz doesn't play, and I'm going to say a Partey goal somewhere along the lines.
He's a goal scorer.
Listen, I'll add that in there. I do think if Havertz plays and Nketiah plays, I might as well get my slippers on and hand you the trophy
So
wherever
they
it
played
is.
you're being very...
But we're not
Can
competing
I-
with you.
can
We're
I-
not competing with you for the league. We're competing with Liverpool. You're in the top four debate.
Well,
see, if I've got the video wrong, lads, and we're talking about the top four, then fair enough. But we're not chatting about.
I mean,
really,
What do you mean? Hold on, wait.
hold on.
You're not competing with
Liverpool fans down. We should get
Hold on.
fans
All right, let's not go.
How you not competing with
Let's
us?
not go too
Well,
crazy.
for the
Let's
top
not
four.
too crazy.
No, hold on, wait a minute. You're not competing
in the
with
top.
us, right?
It's a bigger debate. Yeah, you're in there. With
Right.
Spurs.
No,
You're closer to Spurs than City this season. You're closer to Spurs than City.
You're closer to Spurs and
Yeah, but we're gonna pull away at the end of the season.
At the moment, right? At the moment, we're unbeaten. You're not.
Yeah.
In the league,
yeah,
right?
early.
So you know what I mean.
Spurs were top of the table with Gareth Bale, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, I know.
In December.
And at this stage of the season, as you fully well know, it doesn't tell you how it's going to end up. But Arsenal will be challenging, right?
That unbeaten's overrated. You know that, don't you? Because you're second. Well, are you second?
No, we're third.
Well, you're third unbeaten.
Third
We're
unbeaten.
top.
Exactly.
I will say though,
you're top. You're top at the moment.
You can be unbeaten in the Premier League and get relegated. You know that. 38 draws.
Yeah, but who's ever done that? Who's going to get 38 draws?
I will say, look, to give Man City a bit more credit as well. I think to give
never go unbeaten, mate. Never.
No.
Never.
One day.
I think
It's
to
overrated,
It's
that.
coming.
Keep trying.
We'll save this for the next one.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to give Man City a bit of credit in the Carabao, in the Community Shield. Listen, we didn't actually win the game in 90 minutes, so that's
No, we
also.
didn't.
You bring out the Community Shield as a kind
No,
of.
I'm giving you credence to say that I don't think Havertz should start because although he did okay,
Hold on.
But
he did
Nunes was
okay.
amazing last season.
Wait.
Do you know what I mean, in the Community Shield?
We didn't win the game in 90 minutes, yes.
Yeah, but we need to win in 90 minutes, Rob. There's no extra time. There's no extra time.
Hold on.
We won in
There's a
penalties.
lot of games that are not won in 90 minutes. There's a lot of, Real Madrid have won trophies that are not won in 90 minutes.
But you're missing the whole point, Rob.
So I'm saying, obviously, the Community Shield is not the Premier League. I hear that, right? But Havertz in that game against City, I thought he played all right. So,
But we didn't
you know
win.
what I mean?
We didn't win in 90 minutes. We need to win in 90 minutes. That's my point I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean? But I was still.
We didn't beat them
we didn't
in
lose.
90 minutes.
And all the previous ones we've lost. So,
That is
you know
true.
what I mean? I think you're being very disrespectful when you just say about Liverpool. Liverpool will be in it.
Wait, disrespectful to who? You.
To us, because we're going to be in it
There's
as
nothing
well.
wrong coming top four. You came 8th back-to-back
No,
seasons
don't worry
a few
about
years
top
ago. There's
four.
nothing wrong. Wait,
No,
what's
we're
wrong
not aiming
coming
for top four. We're not aiming for top four.
What? You've not been in the
We're
Champions
aiming to
League.
try and
You've
win
not been in
it.
the Champions League for 5-6 years. The last time you were in it, you lost 10-2 to Bayern Munich. You've not won the Premier League in 20 years.
You were trying to win the Champions League for years.
When's the last time you won? The last time you won the Premier League, there was a new Labour government. I mean,
you were
haven't
throwing
you haven't won
billions
the league
year
in
after
years.
Where is that Champions
right?
League trophy that you had in
You were
there?
throwing
I never
billions.
touched that before.
Billions,
but I'm going
right?
to touch it now. Where
You were
is it?
throwing billions of pounds, right?
Yeah,
after
it's
it.
in a
you've
year
got
after
lots
year
of
after
money Lots of money from
year after year.
How much money did you spend this summer? Last summer, you spent more than City in the last 2 summers.
Your Champions League win is in threat in the courts. I mean,
I don't have a law degree. You have to tell me.
Is this Judge Judah? Is this Judge Judah? Judge Rinder.
Let's bring it in a little.
Man, City a bit like Donald Trump, didn't they?
Judge Rinder. Is Judge Rinder this?
City are like Donald Trump, man. You're walking around with all these charges behind you, right? But hoping you can still win an election or still win a title, right? Listen, don't disrespect Arsenal.
There's nothing wrong coming top 4. You've not done it for years.
No, we're not after top 4.
First time we did it last season.
We're after to try and win the whole thing.
There's a lot of clubs that would do anything to come top 4. You've done everything. You spent hundreds of millions of quid to come top 4 for the first time in 7 years. Fair enough.
Listen, it's not about top 4. We're in it to win it. We're trying to win the league this year. You see, you're getting too cocky now. You're getting too carried away.
Yeah.
And I understand it. And I understand it. And I get it. You won the treble. You won the treble, and you were the best side probably in world football last year.
Yeah.
And I give it to you guys, right? But that was last year. This is a different year. And it's only just started.
Can you imagine if they won the treble and we were saying
but let's be fair.
My God.
Let's be fair though. No two.
I'd be humble.
Oh my God. My days.
But the point is though, no 2 seasons are the same. So for you to kind of think, that because you're the treble winners, that it's just you're imperious is not right.
But we're not saying that. We're not saying that.
No, that's what you're saying. That's what you're.
You know, we won the Champions League a few months ago, this calendar year.
Yes, but it's a new season.
You have to just show respect.
No, of course. No, I
remember Arsenal when you won the league, you were rolling penalties against us back before we had the takeover. You were rolling penalties, taking the mick and all that.
You have to admit, right? Even with the Champions League, right? You had unlimited resources to throw it at. Look how hard it took. Look how many years it took you to.
It's not unlimited.
Win it.
We spent less money than you in the last couple of transfer windows
than you. Unlimited resources, man. That's what
we spent less than United in the last 7 years.
All you got to know is that it was money well spent.
It was.
Exactly.
It was
money well spent.
You spent 70
there's teams out there throwing billions around and languishing. There's teams out there spending billions in 10th and 11th. So a treble, not bad.
You know what's funny? I was about to wrap it up and Buvey thought to himself, we're going to go on for 10 more minutes. So we've got 2 predictions here, both 2-1 Arsenal, and we're going to go over to you to wrap it up with your predictions. Steve, let's start with you.
I think the midfield concerns me after the Wolves game. I just thought we had a lack of creativity in there. But I trust Pep to be coming up with something. John Stones was on the bench last night. We could see maybe John Stones in that inverted midfield sort of role, maybe. But we have got a few options. You know, if you look at the team, he could start Alvarez, he couldn't start Alvarez, he might box that midfield off and try and get late in the game at 60, 70 minutes. Then we've got Doku, who, you know what I mean, he's a different animal than Jack. You know, he come on last night, pace, power. Last thing you want, 70 minutes, Man City bringing him on, you know what I mean? Erling Haaland, working hard, off the ball. People are just going to judge Erling on goals, but I watch him every single game, and at the minute, he's creating so many chances by just his presence, you know what I mean? He can take 3 or 4 defenders away from him, as we've seen last night. I just think it depends on that midfield battle. I think what Robbie said there with Declan Rice, Partey and Odegaard, it's a strong midfield that. You've got everything in there. You've got the power, you've got the grit, and you've got a bit of creativity. City's got to try and find an answer to that. Do we bypass the midfield? Can Edison go long again to Haaland, but then there's no one behind him? For me, I've said on a podcast this week, I would play Jack Grealish in the middle.
Well, and have him do De Bruyne's job last season.
And do you know why? Because he can wind everybody up. He get free kicks all the time. He can go left, he can go right, he can shoot. I think if Jack Grealish can get in that middle, keep getting them fouls, keep the ball in your half of the pitch, I think that's a problem for Arsenal, because I think Partey, especially, Declan might not rise to it, but I think Partey wouldn't be able to handle Jack Grealish in there, winding him up. If I'm Pep, I'm saying, get in that midfield, wind him up. But I don't think he will. I think he'll play Grealish on the left. I think it'll be Foden on the right. I think Haaland up front. I think Bernardo will go in midfield with Kovacic and maybe Stones, or he might put a Calvin Phillips in there. I don't know. Back 4 could be anything from Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola. But Nathan Ake was rested last night, and Ake, obviously, if Saka plays,
last season,
he plays well against him. But these games are very, very tactical, and I think we just got to enjoy the game, man. I think City win it. I think we get the job done. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think it'll be 1-1 late, and I think City will nick it. And watch out for Big Steve ballooning on the front row again.
I mean, 2-1. I don't want to see none of that.
They said the injury crisis. I just heard about 25 players that they got there. Like, you got like 17 defenders that all cost like 5.
They can play anywhere. We play wherever you want. Play wherever we want.
I mean, they just said Akanji reeling him off.
Kanji was 14 million, man.
That was cheap. Yeah.
Listen, mate.
So it's all been
listen.
2-1 so
Great
far.
sign.
Yeah.
Buvey.
2-1. Yeah, it's going to be
I go
tight.
3-0 for me. I don't think you'll score a goal. I mean, that's the reality. I don't think you'll get on the pitch. I look at their front three. I think
Buvey's
they've got an
funny
average
because
front
here
three.
he'll say, it's top 4 for us. But on Twitter, he'll be like, I can't believe Arsenal are not challenging for the league. But it is what it is. The game is the game.
It's easy to edit him out anyway. CGI, it's fine. He's not a real
nothing
fan.
wrong
eh?
coming top 4. You've not done it for years.
Listen, on that note, people, we're going to wrap it up because we've got another super fan debate to do. So look out for that. Hopefully you're subscribed. Put the notification bell on. Make sure you've liked this video. Check. It should be on 1,000 likes. If it's not, then make sure you help us along the way. Big up Big Steve. Big up Buvey, Guna Lee, and Robbie. Love for the love, people. And tune in to the next super fan debate. Peace.